Welcome to Voice of Nagaland News. Voice of Nagaland News ita Dimapur Town Hall de aigina ase. Aramian so pi janai shina. Chwa muina Dimapur de ekta bishi muntu khatna hoise. Kote ekta 14-year-old minor bacha tai laga nijor guardian ba 4 years take physically assault, molest aru rape kuri kina aha laga opor de khulasa hoise. Aru itia tak itu case te tinta mandu ki giraftar kuri kina ase. Ekta to tai laga nijor guardian o Watimen Jamir kun 43 years ase take giraftar kuri kina ase. Aru second accused to Titi Mungba au 37 years old aru third accused to Akang Kokpa tai to 68 years old ase aru tai to residency colony laga GBB ase kuri kina menke janai dishe. To itu laga related te achi Nagaland NGO Forum in collaboration with Nagaland School Alliance Canberra achi to town hall de ekta awareness program organize kuri kina ase. Itu child abuse kan nimite aru itu program de Dimapur Eastern Naga Student Union can be aigina participate krise aru itu kala noi kina apu mita tv speaker ase aru alak speakers can be itu posko ek laga opor de tagal itu khota role ase to ahibi achi laga awareness program na opor de olop details pra sai saw.
Today is a day to listen carefully what each one of the speakers will be sharing from their perspectives. And I think this is where I would like to request, on behalf of the organizing team and for many people who would be watching this program, it is a message that we are here to listen actively, carefully, mindfully, sensitively, and to do what is right as informed citizens. So to do this honor, I would like to take this time to also request you to kindly keep your phones in silent as shared earlier, and also the media fraternity to please make sure that every word spoken is projected in the right light. We are all responsible individuals here, and we do believe we would be the channel of change. As I take this time, my name is Gugu Haralu, and I will be the chairperson for today's program. So may I also request you once again to kindly be seated patiently and have a patient listening.
This morning, we are gathered here in the aftermath of a situation and an incident that has created great pain, shock, horror in each of our hearts and across our society. Not just here in Dimapur, but across Nagaland. I join everybody in condemning this act, and I am hopeful that the authorities, the government, is doing all it can to ensure that justice is delivered. We are aware that the perpetrators are now under the custody of law enforcing agencies. We assure you that no stone will be left unturned to ensure that a rapid, quick, independent and just investigation is carried out and that justice is delivered. I urge upon all sections to also have the patience to ensure that law takes its own course. At this moment, we also share the pain and express our solidarity not only to the victim, but also to the members of the family and the larger community from which she comes. It is because of incidents like this, it is because of the need to protect that the government, the central government, and the country as a whole has put in place laws and rules to ensure justice. POCSO is one of them. I will not dwell on the details and the vital elements of these laws. There are experts who will highlight and speak on that subject. But I want to say that while we need laws, while we need rules, laws and rules are not enough. Each and every one of us have to play a role. The law is not present 24 hours watching over us. Every room, every classroom, every office space doesn't have a policeman. It is us individuals, it is us as a community that has to ensure that our eyes are watching, our ears are listening. Children need to be allowed to dream. Children need to be allowed to be given all the opportunities and all the facilities to strive towards those dreams and towards those aspirations. How can we create challenges for them by abusing them, by inflicting violence on them, worst of all, sexual? How can we make them feel fear, experience pain in a place where they are supposed to feel safest? At home and in schools, amongst guardians, amongst parents, the people who are responsible for assuring them security, safety, guidance are the ones who have become perpetrators. This is a situation our society needs to introspect. We need to take the bull by the horns. And the worst enemy is silence. We cannot remain silent. And this forum, I think, is the right way to begin, because we are not only remaining silent, but we are willing to listen, hear, and do.
Today, we are gathered here under the powerful theme, Stand With Her. These words are more than a slogan. They are called to conscience and call for united against the injustice. Today, we stand together because of 14 years, all girls suffered repeated abuse at the hand of a very person entrusted with her care and protection. Someone who was expected to be a fatherly figure. We strongly condemn this inhuman and repressible act. No education, social standing, or positions or authority can ever be justified as a betrayal of trust. We honor the extraordinary courage of the survivor who found the strength to speak out, breaking the silence against someone in a position of a trust is never easy. And we encourage and her courage deserve our deepest respect and support. We also extend our heartfelt appreciation to the teachers who stood by her, believed in her, and give her the confidence to seek justice.
Child Welfare Committee Dimapur. It is a quasi-judicial body. I'm sure we all are aware of it. And in this present moment as well, the abused child is under their care that we all know about. And I'm sure the Child Welfare Committee, as soon as the case was reported, a support person must be appointed so that the child feels comfortable. And such support person is someone who are child specialized in psychology and child-friendly experiences. So coming back to the experiences that I want to share right now is most of the time we think child abusers are a stranger from outside, the one on the street who looks like a villain. But definitely that is a wrong notion because child abusers are mostly from a safe haven, from a safe home. It may be an uncle, it may be a guardian, it may be a relative, as we can see at this present moment. And when we spoke on this POCSO Act and Juvenile Justice Act in various schools, some teachers actually denied this fact, that but I would like to deny that fact because truth stands. So dealing with such cases, I also want to say, mention about one thing, that children cannot lie for a long time. They may lie for a short while, but they get exhausted. So this is also one interaction when we have with the child. And many times, when as a member also, as a Child Welfare Committee member, we face a lot of hurdles. And in fact, the system blacklists us because family kan ahado abuser khando itu bureaucrat ase, itu ase. They're from a well-to-do home. They're from an educated home. And they're always hampering in our work. Sometimes we are blacklisted forever. Kali sawo kiman diri tenure grupo, like that. So to work as a Child Welfare Committee member or to be part of the Juvenile Justice Board, we face a lot of challenges. And also, I want to talk about the compensation part, even though we don't have time. There's victim compensation for victim of violence. So when we are creating awareness, people say, rape korile compensation pay. Nah, that is also one thing they ask. But this is not for that reason. This is for the rehabilitation, for the medical care, for her to come back in the society. These are all very important. And I also want to highlight one thing, compromise. Every time we get cases, they will come, Baba la Nambra, village la Nambra. And these things we have to do away in the society. And also I would like to, since we have leaders here from the state and different organizations, when appointing members of such sensitive protection system, like child protection system, like women protection system, let's not appoint with nepotism, the culture of nepotism. No political appointees. Appoint those who are expert in that field, who has experience. So this is all I want to say. Thank you very much.
The recent abuse of the young girl is more than a horrific crime. It is a painful reminder of the deeper problem that continue to exist within our society. Behind such tragedies lie patriarchy, poverty, silence, and institutional neglect. While public outrage often flows incidents of abuse, outrage alone is not enough. Preventing violence requires confronting the conditions that enable it and accepting a collective responsibility for change. As Nagas, we must look beyond individual offenders and honestly address the realities that continue to leave women and children vulnerable. Let us understand the root causes. Meaningful solutions require an honest examination of the forces that place women and children at risk.
patriarchy remains the root issue. Patriarchy continues to shape unequal expectation for men and women. Girls are often taught to be silent, accommodating, and obedient, while boys are granted greater freedom, authority, and entitlement. Such attitudes create conditions in which abuse can thrive unchecked. We cannot claim progress while ignoring inequality. The deeper threat is not only individual abusers, but also a mindset that normalizes male privilege and expects women to endure injustice quietly. Naga society must find the courage to challenge attitudes that diminish women's dignity, voice, and leadership.
Today, we gathered with heavy heart, but also with determination. The ongoing rape case involving a 14-year-old minor has shaken our conscience as a society. While this matter is before the law, our responsibility today is not to discuss legal guilt or innocence, but to reflect on how we as a community respond when a child suffers abuse. Every child deserves dignity. Every child deserves safety. Every child deserves justice. When a child suffers abuse, the question is not only what happened to that child, the question is also how does society respond? As Naga, we take pride in our rich tradition, strong community bond, and deep Christian faith. Yet, we must ask ourselves when abuse occurs, does our culture protect the vulnerable, or does it sometimes silence them? True tradition should be shield for the weak, not the burden that forced them to suffer in silence. Our ancestors built communities based on courage, mutual responsibilities, respect, and protection. The village was not simply a place to live, it was a place where every member belonged and where the weak was protected by the strong. Our traditional Naga values are taught: respect for the women and elders, protect for children, community responsibilities, accountability for wrongdoings, restoration of harmony through justice. These values remain relevant today. However, traditions are meant to preserve life and dignity. When traditions are misunderstood or misused to silence victims, we must have the courage to rethink our response. Naga literature and oral tradition reminds us that true strength is not found in silence, but in standing for what is right. Naga writers such as Dr. Damsila Au and Isturin Giri remind us through their works that healing begins when communities acknowledge pain rather than hide it. Their writings challenge us to uphold justice, compassion, and human dignity. In many communities, victims of abuse face immense pressure. They hear statements like, "Do not bring shame to the family," "Think about the reputation of the clan," "Keep this matter private," "Do not create conflict." While the statements may come from a desire to preserve social harmony, they often place the burden on the victim instead of the offender. A child who has experienced abuse should never carry the weight of protecting society's reputation. The responsibilities belong to the adults and institutions entrusted with protecting the child. Therefore, let us never forget that silence has consequence. Victims suffers alone, drama deepens, offenders may escape accountability, other children remains vulnerable. Many survivors carry emotional on for years because they were not believed, supported, or protected. May we be a generation that rise in faith, compassion, and courage. Arise and stand with her. Arise and protect our children. Arise and we be the voice for those who cannot speak for the truth for themselves. Thank you.
Every child deserves a safe childhood and a chance to play and grow without fear. They are the joy of our home and the future generation. Nagaland is nationally renowned for its exceptional low rate and crimes against women and children. It is constantly records the lowest crime rate in the category among all the Indian states and union territories. Also, Nagaland is also known for Nagaland for Christ. But now, it's the complete opposite. Taking this time, I want to talk and focus on protection and safety of our sisters and brothers. Our greatest duty is to ensure the safety of those who cannot protect themselves. The law must act as a shield for the innocent and a sword against those who would do harm. Society is judged by how it responds to the most grievous of offenses and demand the full extent of the law. Rigorous investigation we call upon to the police and prosecutors to build an airtight, flawless case using foolproof evidence. Zero tolerances, law and enforcement must handle every step with extreme sensitivity, ensuring zero procedural delays and institutional lapses. A deterrent message, the state must signal to all predators that crimes against children will be made with full crushing weight of the law. Talking about child rights and protection awareness, I want to touch on these three particular topics. Breaking the silence. We must actively shatter the stigma around reporting child abuse in our schools, homes, and communities. Number two, robust safeguards. It is our collective duty to educate children on safety, enforce strict protection laws, and build vigilant environments. Point number three, unwavering supports. We must pledge to create a society where child rights are scarred and survivors are not met with unconditional hate and healing and care.
To viewers, abdi kambra itu program nago opor di details pra huni du she good speakers or dignitaries kampra vi itu case nago opor di strongly condemn kurishe aru dukla noigina justice to chuli diolin nimide mang kurishe aru dignitaries kan itu program te khota kra homoi ta kampra vi kusheted bishipak itu minor bacha kan ke inaka sexually assault nolive rape molest kuri ta kala case kan do itu accused kan do unknown strangers ka nada ki hulibi ekta tagan nicho laga guardian nolibi takan ba pali kina aha tagan nicho laga parents kan chana manu kan ekla thaki guina amian ke chanai dishe aru takan ba kusheted chuti ami khan be inaka ami kana neighbor khor osor de nole ami kana relatives kan laga machu de inaka incident can happen huigina ami khan inform kwa nai kushukuli do under the POSCO act itu bi ekta crime ase kuina bi ami ange educate krushe aro dignitaries kan pra bi khota kura homoy itu POSCO act to kinaka run kurigina chai nolibi itu case bitor de ki rules and regulations kan ase itu laga opor de bi ami kan ke educate krushe aro itu seminar khotum hwa pichi de TENSU kan pra ekta protest dishe kuti thakan pra kushei det itu tinta manu ki giraftar kura nishina itu victim or what men chamber laga titi ki bi interact role like aro tai laga opor de bi action role like kuina thakan pra mang kurishe aro thakan pra kushei det itu to yadi khotom phan no hoi holibi justice na pa tak takan enaga stand kruwo aro takan fight kruwo kena itu laga opor de amen ke chanai dishe to aha din dibi itu case taga opor de aro updates kan pai ta kishi guli da amnian ke update chanai ti deko achigani imani arina news aro update chanai deko side ke voice of Nagaland news moi is the reporter moilong pom reporting from Dimapur.